It's right now. Right now, right now. It's What the Fuck Tuesday. Welcome to the show. This is the craziest advice show on the internet where people send in their letters and they get an answer. Sometimes it's the same one and sometimes it's not. If you wrote in a question and you got a notice that your letter would be in the column today, be sure to listen through the whole thing because they're not in, in the order received. They're just there. I don't know how she puts them in there. But anyway, you guys, I had thought I was going to be able to do the Sunday sermon this week. That still did not happen. I think it was food poisoning on Saturday evening from this Thai restaurant, and I was so sick. I tell you, my stomach's still not right. So I'm sitting up here like, oh, I don't feel so great. But we'll see what happens. If I have to make a mad dash to some other location in the house, you'll know why. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what that was. And I've eaten. Well, no, this was a new restaurant. I take that back. Hmm. Well, I bet you I'm gonna be like TLC now, and I'm gonna eat at the rivers and the lakes and the restaurants I'm used to. I'm no more experimenting for me. But thanks you guys for coming. We got our usual 25 letters. I already looked because that seems to be our new normal. For Tuesdays, we do 25, and then on Thursdays, there's another, 15, 16, 17 to do through the end of this month. So we got this week and next week, and then I should be caught up, and I should just be able to go back to once a week. Yes, TLC, excuse you, because that's those are my girls. That's my era, the 90s. That's when I was young. Yes. I'm not going to be chasing no waterfalls or no special kind of taste. I'm going to just go where I went to, where I'm used to going. So anyway, since we got 25 letters, let us get going. You guys will be reminded of the policies. If you see somebody who's cutting up and acting up and violating the rules, those of you who know what they are, please alert me or Lady Boss, Shay, with the at sign in our name, and it'll highlight it and get our attention, okay? But we do have a lot of new people and they don't really, know, and they're used to being in different kind of environments where people say all kinds of foul things that they want to say, talk about the other commenters and all kinds of stuff that we do not allow here. This is an area we might disagree, but you will always respect someone. And if you don't respect them and they come out guns blazing, don't say nothing when you get shot down. But we really discourage that kind of thing, okay? Oh, now they on a TLC Wayback Machine mission over here. All right, let's get going. What the fuck Tuesday, October 20th, 2020. Question number one. This is from a woman, a young lady in the 18 to 21 age group out of Florida. Out of Florida. She says, Deb, how do I deal with someone who does not understand the word no? There's a black man who lives in my neighborhood that will not leave me alone. The first time I told him I wasn't interested in him, he took it upon himself to get out of his car and walk me to the store. Hmm. I told him to stop following me along the way, but he just continued to do so. After that, I bought a stun gun and a knife. I saw him again and I began threatening him so he could go away. He offered me money to make up from bothering me. I accepted it, but it wasn't enough to let go of the fact that he was stalking me after I told him to leave me alone. I still live with my parents, so I can't move away yet, and I can't stay in the house all day. Help! This man is insane, and he's very predatory. He even said to me once, a woman that says no is just stubborn and will say yes once they get to know me. Wow, he just really on his thing. Now, one thing you don't talk about is how old this guy, how old you think he is. And I would be very curious also to know why you accepted money from someone like this. What were you thinking? What's wrong with you? You don't get close enough to a man like this to accept shit from him. What you're supposed to tell him is, I don't want nothing from you. I want you to get out of my face, to leave me the fuck alone. That's the best present you could give me. And then when he's trying to follow you, you should have took off running. Running. Okay? Just to make it draw attention, because a girl running away from a guy that gets people's attention. You got a stun gun and you got a knife. That's great. How about something that makes noise, like a loud? They have those little alarm system things that go off real crazy, make all kinds of noise if people get too close to you. You know, and it's really sad to me that women have to have all of these kinds of things in play just to go to the fucking store in their own neighborhood, because niggas don't know how to act. They just don't know how to just stay in their envelope and leave women alone on the street. Always got to say something, want to be chasing you, talking to you, just bothering you, just, you know. Well, no, whistles aren't good enough because kids play with those all the time. That's not gonna do it. You need more something different than a whistle. But you this thing about you standing there talking to him enough to listen to what he had to say and accept money from him. See, he's grooming you and you don't even understand what's happening. That's the problem with young girls. You don't understand what just happened in that exchange. He's already gotten you used to doing what he tells you to do because you did it. Just because he asked you to, you stopped, right? You stopped going where you was going. You engaged him in conversation, right? Because you listened to all this bullshit he had to say, and then you reached your hand out and you took money from him. Just when you were doing that, he could have grabbed your little wrist and flung your ass in his car. Then what? You need to think more. You do not get close to no dusty ass stalking fool. You maintain a distance of at least 8 feet between the two of you, so you have room to run. Get your knife out, stab, whatever you need to do. You do not be getting that close enough for him to put money in your hand. Stop it. You don't take nothing from a dusty fool. You don't take shit. Not directions, not the time, not the name of the street you on, nothing. You don't take nothing from some man. Your mama should have told you this. Nothing. Okay, because now he feels like since you took his money, he done bought some time with you. Right? Whatever money he gave you, if you see that motherfucker, you put it in an envelope and you throw it at him and tell him, here's your shit back. Stay the fuck out of my face. Stay the fuck out of my life. That's what you do. Anytime you see him after that, just take off running and screaming. Okay? Well, she might cheat him. She may not know who he is. He's in her neighborhood, but that doesn't mean, I mean, what does that mean? Which, if you're in a neighborhood that's densely populated, you have no idea where these people live or if these even lives there. Just because he's in the neighborhood, that doesn't mean he lives in the neighborhood. He could be visiting somebody in the neighborhood. He could just have chose that as a stalking ground and just appear there a lot. You don't have any facts about where this man actually rests his head at night and gets mail. Okay, so don't assume that you can just direct the police to where he lives and all this other kind of stuff. You don't know that. Another option is, to take, well, if you come to Utah, it's in his car, right? Take a picture of his license plate. Take a picture of him. Let him know that's what you're doing. Send it. As soon as you do it, send it so that it's on Facebook Live or something like that. And says, this is man is stalking me. I'm 18, 19, whatever age you are. And this is a grown man. He won't leave me alone. Face, license plate. Okay? Stuff like that. You have to be a little bit more proactive. But the main thing I want you to do is stop taking shit from dusty ass old fuckers like this. You don't take shit from them. Nothing. And talking about it wasn't enough. You need your butt beat for that shit. Well, Facebook, I don't know if they still do it because so many bad things happen on Facebook Live. But where people could you just stream shit and it's in real time. So there's like 100,000 people watching this man stalk and harass you and looking at his license plate on the internet. What's he gonna do? Nothing. And that's what you want. You want to checkmate his ass. All right. So let's move on to question number 2. This is from a male in the 30 to 36 age group from Cape Town, South Africa. Wow. Scenario. A good friend of mine sends me a picture of someone, quote, she would really like to have dinner with you. She's a yoga instructor, a friend of mine, very cool, end quote. Then this morning, please send me a good picture of you that I can send to her, end quote. Call me cynical, but how does someone who does not even know what I look like really want to go to dinner with me? What exactly were the selling points which made her so keen to go to dinner with me? I have been down this road before with the same friend a few years ago when he was trying to set me up with people, and it was always like I was sold as some sort of pity project. And I won't lie, I felt quite bad about that because what happened was I would meet these people, and from minute one, I could see they were not interested in me and had been convinced I was a project. Needless to say, these were very awkward interactions which went nowhere, and I'm not keen to repeat them. Unfortunately, the issue is this friend then, as in now, thinks he knows what is best and loves playing Cupid, but he's literally trying to match apples with oranges. What would you do? One look at the pictures of this lady suggests she has tons of options, and honestly, I'd be at the bottom of that list. Telling said friend I'm not interested is fairly easy, but also complicated because it takes the discussion down a road I'm not comfortable with. What I really want to avoid is the pity project scenario, and with this, I just feel it's another one of those types of setups. God, your self esteem is swimming in the toilet like a turd about to be flushed. I just never see anybody with self esteem as low as yours. You just, you don't, you feel like you have no value, and that if anybody on this planet wanted to go out with you, it would automatically be a pity project. There's nothing about you that your friend could say that was, really true and really good and decent about you as a human being and as a man. Smart, educated, successful in your career, great, come from a great family, have great moral sense of humor, value system, hardworking, cute, tall, nice body, nothing. There's nothing there at all that you think that he could say about you that would be good and that might pique a woman's interest. You honestly believe that about yourself. That's what you're telling me in this letter. That anybody that goes out with you, they're doing it out of pity. I'm going to say this to you. First, tell your friend that you're going to decline, not because of anything about him and this and that, but because you don't feel worthy of going out with anybody because you don't like yourself at all. If you were to tell him the truth, that would be the truth right there. So you need to go and see someone professional about what's happened in your life that makes you dislike yourself this much and see no value in yourself. We see a lot of this in women, but to see this in men is, it's just a problem. And you're right. You're right. Sim Girl pointed out that, women like a man with confidence. And you coming off like this, if you project any of this insecurity and these low self esteem issues when you're actually on the date, self deprecating humor is one that a lot of people use. Someone gives you a compliment. Oh, no, I'm really ugly, but thanks for telling me that lie. That kind of stuff. People get sick of that shit real quick, real quick. So that would be my suggestion for you because this is just sad. Obviously, your friend, thinks you're a great guy. I'm gonna tell you this because most dudes, if they have a male friend, they're not gonna recommend him to nobody because they know these friends ain't shit. Not just as far as how they treat women. If they're gonna introduce, like if you have a player type of dude and you know that's what he is, and he introduces you to women, well, you know what that's all about. But I'm talking about if your friend's a decent dude and he introduces you to some decent women, that is because he truly thinks that you have value and that you're a good dude. He wouldn't be associating his name in a hookup, a matchup with you for you if he thought you were stupid or you was going to embarrass him or something. I don't know why you think so little of your friends or you think so little of yourself. That would be my suggestion. That would be it. Poor guy. Was right. Question number 3. This is a young lady, 37 to 45, Southampton in the UK. Dating is not working out as I had hoped. Well, how many of us could sing that song? One guy had been dating this last month is just not working out. Between his work schedule and his ex-wife drama, it has been incredibly difficult for us to get together. He texts me every day and sometimes all day long. However, I am not looking for a text buddy. I've expressed my frustration to him, but he has not responded. The other guy just started talking to, and I can already tell is going to be a codependent personality and has some issues that he needs to work out. Oh my God. I guess I'm just venting and having a pity party today. I had hoped things would be better for me. Throw COVID into the mix, and I'm not feeling very comfortable dating right now anyway, especially as the weather turns colder and will probably end up taking down all my dating profiles. I'm just meh about it all. Okay, is there a question here? This just sounds like a rant. I'm gonna say this though. If you do, if this guy is like texting you all day and you don't want a text buddy, why can't you say, I don't want a text buddy, stop texting me. I'm done with this. Why can't you just say that to him? Why do you have to keep enduring these endless texts? See, I'm not a texter. I don't even like the phone too much. So you text me a couple of times, I'm gonna be like, okay, that's enough. I'm done with this now. I need to do something else. It gets very, it gets no. And then the new one you met, you said that he's codependent and has some issues that he needs to work out. And you can already tell, and you just started talking to him. That means he's full of issues. Okay, so you nix him too. But that's two dudes. I mean, you think you just gonna find Prince Charming just right out the gate? It don't work like that. You have to kiss a whole bunch of frogs, as we say here in California. Hella, you got to kiss hella frogs before you find your prince. It don't work like that in the fairy stories. So I don't understand why you just can't next folks. Why you ladies stay in these situations so long? That's what I was gonna talk about on the Sunday sermon. But I guess I'll try to do it this week because I sure couldn't do it last week. Yes, honey, toes with getting up with warted lips and all kind of stuff be happening. But that's just how it is. That's what's out here these days. These people, a lot of people have mental illness. They have mental illness and they just straight cray cray. So if you're a normal person and you running into these nut jobs, you're gonna have problems. Let's move on to question number 4. This is from a male as well, 30 to 36 in St. Louis. If I'm not interested after the first date with a lady, do I have to reject them by text just to be polite? Or can I just not contact them again? I want to ask you this because after first date, I think it's seen as polite to let someone know by text if you're not interested. But I find writing that text to be a bit awkward as I have to explicitly reject them. If I just don't message them and they haven't messaged me, is that okay? I don't consider this ghosting because if they don't contact me either, I can assume they're not interested too, right? Also, we only met up once with quite minimal contact before the date, so they can read between the lines if I don't contact them, and it's not a big deal, right? I'm a guy and I contacted this chick on the app. This was from an app. We have no mutual friends. Um, I I am of the mind that that is absolutely and positively the best way to do it. Now, you going through all this angst, worrying about how somebody who you went out with one time and ain't really even had a conversation with too much is going to feel about you not wanting to have a second date with them. And I said, why are you wasting all that energy? She, like you said, she ain't called you. So then you would need to reject her if she did that, if she reached out saying, let's get together, or why haven't you called me, and stuff like that. But if she doesn't call you and you don't call her, it's a mutual ghosting, right? Y'all, it's by agreement. You both on the same page. So it doesn't, really matter. Well, you can tell these kind of people that ask these kind of questions. Shut up, Shay. People who ask these kind of questions have good home training. I have it too, but I just chose to put it in a box and not be bothered with it once I started getting out here in the dating field, in the 2000s, because it's a different world from when my parents were dating. It's a completely different world. And so a lot of the stuff they taught me how to, talk to people and do stuff and stuff, that don't fly anymore. It doesn't work. You end up as roadkill in our current society. So there are just some things I had to just let go. But I don't think I think you're worrying about something that you really don't need to be worried about. Just don't contact them again. If they reach out to you, you find a message on your phone or something, then you can send that text or just block them and just they'll get the hint when they try to call back. He ain't well, they fired each other. So I mean, it's like what's the big deal? Two people that met and didn't like each other. I mean, that happens every day, a real ride. Female, 21 to 26 out of Philly. This is question number 5 of 25. One of my best friends is in a relationship with another guy. He's 21. But trust me, he's not going to be my friend after this relationship ends. They've been together for a few months. Everything seems to be going great on the outside, but she recently confided in me that he was, quote, being horrible to her. After looking at some screenshots of their conversation, I was horrified to see he wasn't just being horrible. He was gaslighting her, forcing her to discuss intimate topics she wasn't comfortable with, calling her names, ignoring her for days on end when they'd fight. She also informed me that he'd been less vigilant when it comes to getting what you refer to as enthusiastic consent from her when they're intimate. Deb, this mess happens on a consistent daily basis and leaves her exhausted and miserable all the time. Needless to say, I'm disgusted, and I consider my friendship with him to be dead and buried. I was also in a relationship like this just over a year ago, and she knows this, so I was very upset to hear that her current boyfriend is doing very similar things that my ex would do. I'm so proud of her for telling me about it. It's something I never did, so I never thought to never had anyone validate my feelings when I thought I was being mistreated. I'm trying to be that for her now, but it's getting so difficult. I've told her all the things I wish someone had told me. You're worth more than that. There'll be someone like that who would never dream of treating you like this. What he's doing is abusive and wrong. What would you tell a friend who is going through this? But nothing has seemed to help. I'm glad she has me to talk to, but I'm scared she's going to be completely brokenhearted by the time it ends. My experience nearly killed me, and I can't watch her go through that without doing anything. I just want to know what to say. I know abuse victims have to be the ones to make the decision to leave for themselves, but it's so hard to watch her go through this. He keeps threatening to break up with her if she's non-compliant to his rules and manipulations, and I'm scared that she'll be completely lost if she does that. I also cannot talk to him directly because I know he'd treat her even worse if he knew she told me anything. Wow, this is a tough situation to be in. Unfortunately, there's nothing you can do here. Nothing. You've done all the talking you can do short of kidnapping her and locking her in a house somewhere in the middle of the woods and deprogramming her or something. There's nothing you can do here. She's a grown woman. She's an adult. Okay, so this is a decision that she has to make. You can just keep pointing out to her, what you were saying. You can also give her articles and stories of women who are in abusive relationships like hers. You can give her the URL for one of those sites where all the women talk about how they were love bombed and gas bombed and narked and all this old stuff. Yeah, she can listen to this show, but she'd have to go mainly listen to the narc series to understand that's what she's dealing with. It's just I don't know. There's certain kinds of mindset that's more vulnerable to this kind of guy, and that is women who don't have very good self-esteem and who lack boundaries. They tend to become prey to these kinds of guys because they can see that vulnerability and that willingness to please on their face, and they come in there like rattlesnakes, strike. So it's yeah, she definitely needs some counseling. But the main thing right now she needs to do is get out of this situation. But it doesn't seem like she's gonna have the strength to do it. She's not gonna want to get there because she doesn't really understand that what's going on is hurting her. So she stays in it. Yeah, one of your friends in a relationship with one of your other friends. Well, the only thing I say, don't you know some dudes? You know some dudes? Have them jump him, beat his ass. And why they beating his ass, gaslight and verbally abuse and name call him so you can see what it feels like. Then kick him a few more times, stomp him a couple of more times, and tell him if he does anything, mess with that girl again, they gonna come back for seconds. That's always a good solution. I'm telling you, the hood therapy. Hood therapy works. Yep, you meet up. This is Mr. Sidewalk. Meet Mr. Boot. And then there you go. The two of them get together and just have a jolly good time on dude. But other than that, I don't know. I don't really have any solution for you because everything that's going to get her out of the situation, she's going to have to do it herself. You cannot do it for her. There's just nothing you can do about it. Now, if she were a minor child, there would be something you can do. But right as an adult, there's not. This has to be strictly her choice. But you know what always happens though? When she gets sick and tired of being sick and tired, she'll leave him alone. I just hope there's something left of her to leave. Girl, I'm just telling you. You know, a a beat this ass. Well, that's true. Just be real. That is a good point. Um, yeah, she's from Philly, so that's definitely something she can do. A lot of these people are from the UK, so the 1-800 that stuff wouldn't really work for them. Hold on a second. I want to make sure that shows. All right. Let's go to question number 6. This is young woman, 30 to 36 age group out the UK. I'm British and love your column, and I wanted to share my story and ask your opinion on guys like this. I just left a second date with a nice, respectful electrician who is 34 years old. I'm 32. He knew I was going to come over for dinner, after dinner rather. We had a great dinner and drinks, so we pick up some more drinks to have back at his. We get there and it's bad. Deb is bad. Like beer cans smashed on the kitchen floor and doo doo on the toilet seat. Okay, what is it with these nasty ass men? These letters we've been getting with these nasty ass men. There's clutter everywhere. Okay, okay, I need a drink, right? Nah, there were no cups to make a drink. I politely declined his offer to make a drink in a water bottle and said, I'm not comfortable. I need to go. 20 something me would have just ignored his lack of cleanliness and probably still hooked up. 30s me can imagine getting intimate with someone who lives like a frat boy but who's headed towards 40. I'm proud of myself for leaving. Oh, well, I tried. What do you think of this? Nasty fucker. That's what I think. He's disgusting. And the fact that he didn't even put any effort into trying to clean up his place, just have you over in that pigsty, I would have left too. You was good because soon as I saw smashed cans on the floor, I would have left. I wouldn't have made it into the bathroom to see the doo doo on the toilet seat. I haven't heard that term in forever. So Amanda, take take Amanda's matches and lighter. She's just turning into an arsonist for real. But it's just this is just gross. This is disgusting. And these guys, they don't understand, probably don't even understand why no woman wants to be bothered with them. Dude, you're nasty and disgusting and filthy. Who wants that? I mean, just think about with his fingernails and stuff and touching your intimate parts. You end up with some kind of like whole body disease, fungus infection, end up with a hysterectomy and all kind of stuff because of his nasty ass. Oh no, everybody getting on Amanda's a bandwagon. Amanda's a bad influence. Yeah, this is really sad. This is just disgusting. I don't know what to tell you, especially like you said he knew you was coming over. He could at least faked it, put all the shit under the couch or under the bed or something. I mean, at least clean the bathroom. If dudes clean the bathrooms, I think a lot of women would be more forgiving. Have clean sheets on your bed and clean your bathroom. Okay, even if the kitchen is messy, if the bathroom is tidy, fresh towels out, it smells good in there, and you have fresh sheets and there's no shit around cluttered in the bedroom, she might be, she could work with that. She could probably work with that. But you have shit, all on the floor and doo doo on the toilet seat, dude. You didn't want no nookie. That's all I can say. You didn't want none. Not really. Question number 7. This is from a male in the 46 to 55 age group out of Mesa, Arizona. Last year, I lost my wife to cancer at the age of 54. Our relationship of almost 30 years came to an end, and I had a rather challenging time the last year or so since her death. However, I concluded that I must move on with my life, never forgetting her, but realizing that I can't sit around and have a pity party for the rest of my life. So I looked into all the popular dating apps, created accounts, uploaded my photos, and waited for connections. I made a few, chatted in the apps, and discussed getting together at a public park to get to know each other a little better. I met one woman I could not remember, but apparently we worked together several years ago. That turned into a big nothing. We're in two different worlds. And now I'm thinking that I'm not going to date or look for people to date proactively. I've determined at this point in time I would rather be alone than stressed with dating. Frankly, I don't have the energy. I want to even think about if she likes me, what bags of drama she's bringing, and if she is financially secure, blah, blah, blah. I was never a big dater when I was young. I met people through work or acquaintances. Thanks for choosing my letter, by the way. I wanted to express my thoughts and to see if I'm the only one feeling this way or not. No, a lot of people don't are just tired of the dating, especially the ones that use them apps. That's always like a nightmare story that's told here. But I'm going to tell you this: you were in a relationship of 30 years, and only a year has passed, and you think that you're ready to date again, sir. You can definitely get on with your life. That's what I mean. You get out of the house, you go, you socialize, you maybe, I don't know, you exercise, you hang out with your friends, you do things to get yourself a social life, okay? But as far as dating goes, it's too early for that. I would say give yourself at least 2, 3 years before you're going to really be ready for that. After a 30-year relationship, are you kidding right now? It took me that long and we had only been together for 7. Yeah, it took me about 3 years really to get over it and to really, be healed enough to want to go out and date somebody again. So you looking at 30 years, you spent your whole youth and most of your middle, most of your life, You only in your 50s now. You spent most of your life. Oh, I read that wrong. You're the one that's 54. Sorry. You spent most of your life with this woman, and uh, and you think you can just brush all that under the rug and forget about it in less than a year? So that's, you're right. Take a breather. Just, chill out. Do some work on yourself to try to heal some more, and then, in a year or two you'll be ready. Okay. You'll just wake up and realize that you're ready. That's how it is. It's like it's this different feeling that you have when you look at the opposite sex. It's just different, and then that's when you know that you're ready to move on. Right now you're not ready. Question number 8. This is a female in the 26 to 29 age group out of Louisville, Kentucky. Yesterday, the guy I'm seeing and I were chatting in the morning, and the conversation steered toward, I'll call in sick. Let's spend the day together. Anyway, he was serious and I was serious. But number one, he didn't realize I had the day off of work. And number two, my flirty, silly responses, he didn't realize I was being serious. Things like, how can I refuse? And I'll be there soon. I was being serious, but he thought I was just being flirtatious. But in the meantime, he went to work. And when he realized I'm really on my way, he's like, wait, what? We chalked up to an error in communication. He suggested I be more clear in cases like that. I told him like 5 times, it's okay, it's fine, but I really, really did mean it. I wasn't mad, but the more I would say it, the more he would get mad that I wasn't communicating with him. Wow. Okay. Ultimately, he suggested we skip yesterday and try for another day this week. And I told him I really didn't think the rest of this week would work. He apologized for being a pain. At this point, he snapped at me and said he was tired and done talking about it. We briefly talked around lunchtime, but nothing beyond that. I didn't hear anything from him the rest of the night, which is unusual, so I reached out. He did respond, but it was clear he was upset and he really wasn't engaged in the conversation. So I did tell him that I had worked on things on my end, so if he wanted to make something happen this week, I could do it. I thought that would make some positive feedback, but not really. Finally, I asked how his day was, no response. Now he's been up all night the night before, and so I figured maybe he was exhausted and had crashed. But I still have not received anything, so it is becoming clearer that he's deliberately not answering me. What do I do? Give him space? But can you think of anything else? Can you think of anything that would have him pulling back so much? Yes, he's stupid. I mean, what is that to pout over? The fact that you guys had a miscommunication. He thought you were joking around and you really were serious. But I don't know. How old are you two? 26 to 29. And you say you've been seeing them. This is unusual because usually that's the first thing everybody says is how long they've been seeing each other. You don't say. So this sounds pretty new. I'm going to say this. You need to be more direct. When you talk to this man, you talk in euphemisms and possibilities and all stuff. As I was reading your stuff, I didn't know what the fuck you was gonna do, and I'm reading it. Imagine how confused he is. So when you say, I set aside today to get together with you, are you free? Yes, no. Those are the only two answers. Okay, he starts hemming and hawing, saying something else. That means to me no, because otherwise the answer would be yes. So I'm going to find something else to do. Okay, notice how clear and clear that was. Okay, is there any doubt in your mind what happened? What I meant, what's going to go on for the rest of the day? I'm not going to be with you because you're not. You say you're not available. Okay, you see what I mean? You're like, oh well, we can make that happen, or I'm not sure if that can happen, and it's not okay. But what about that? Is a solid yes or a solid no? It's like some teenage boppy stuff. You a grown ass woman, you need to talk like one. Okay? I want to see you today. I have the day off. What are you doing? What time do you get off if you're going to work? Can you get off earlier? Something like that. Be very, very clear when you talk to men. Otherwise, you leave this kind of shit here will keep happening all the time. And when people aren't sure what you're saying to them, it causes confusion, emotional angst, and then it's like becomes too hard. The relationship becomes too hard because every conversation is a struggle and it's like, anxiety and nobody understands what each one is saying. It's all this back and forth and it's drama. So, you though was the one making all a flirty response and acting all stupid. So stop doing that. Okay. You in bed with the man, yeah, you can flirt and act flirty and silly then because he already knows what time it is. But you on the phone like this, Be clear and be direct and stop playing around like you 14. My God. That's not nice, girl. She just being silly. Acting, very immature to be somebody in her, on the downstroke to 30 years old. Question number 9, female 37 to 45 out of Jacksonville, Florida. I'm a 43-year-old woman. I have a child, and I suddenly find myself in a position where my child can go to grandma and grandpa's for the weekend. That means I am free to have eggplant and date for the first time in years. The thing is, I don't want a boyfriend or have time for one. I'm just interested in cultivating a true friends with benefits type relationship. I want a man to converse with, have dinner and drinks with, and walk my dog. Maybe play some games like chess or go hiking. But I really want to also have great chemistry and cultivate a mutually satisfying eggplant life that is not influenced by popcorn. I also don't want to cook, clean, take care of his kids, be his therapist, his caregiver. And if there isn't frequent eggplant, meaning every time we get together, I am 100% not interested. Are these realistic goals? How upfront should I be about what I'm looking for? Are there men over 40 seeking the same thing? Oh, absolutely. Do they live in Jacksonville, Florida? Probably not. Now, it's not a relationship because all the part that she put at the end. Cooking, cleaning, taking care of his kids, listening to his problems, being his caregiver, and all that. That's part of a relationship, because they want to vent, and they want to tell you all their problems and shit like you give a shit about their problems. Nobody cares, dudes. That's the thing that you don't understand. Even when you're married to them, women, we still don't really care. We just pretend like we do. We care when you get sick. We don't want you to be sick. You know, we don't want you to be sick. We don't want you to die. But, all that other shit that you talk about in between, your sports things and who said what and what buddy did this and that and the trouble that you have in buying the wood that you need for your project and all the stuff happening at work. Oh, nobody cares. Nobody cares, really. Sorry to tell you that. It's the truth. It's many freaky men in Florida. Okay, well, see, there you go. That's why I like it when people put where they're from because people who live in that area can give you some insight that I cannot, being a California resident. So there you go. I should think that would be relatively easy. Now, this is going to be your problem, though. It's going to be the issue you're going to have to figure out. If you're not in a relationship, he's going to have that friends with benefits situation you described with 2, 3 women. Can you handle that? Okay. Also, what's supposed to happen when you be having all this great chemistry and all this great conversation and this mutually satisfying eggplant life and you start to get attached, what you going to do? Or he gets attached, what you going to do? You also need to consider the fact that, a lot of times you get in there and you think it's going to be something fabulous, and then he turns out to be a 3-minute man. Everything else is on point, though. But what you going to do? So there's a lot to consider here. There's a lot to think about. So I suggest you think about all those things and all those possibilities and options and, have plan A, B, C, D, and E, F, and G so that if something twists up on you, you have a backup plan. But they're like really not in favor of all this. I say at 43, do your thing. Do your thing. But think about all the stuff that I mentioned to you because these are all issues that have come up from women trying to live that lifestyle that you're talking about and they really weren't ready. Okay? So you think about that. Question number 10, male 30 to 36 out of Houston. I've been in a relationship with this woman who's 24 for about 3 months now. I'm 31. The relationship didn't start with ideal circumstances. She was living with an abusive boyfriend and didn't have a place to live if she left him. I didn't set out to get romantically involved with her. I really just wanted to be a friend when she didn't have one. I've tried to offer her a place to stay for a while until she can find an apartment of her own. She's never been able to live on her own before, so not moving in together was always the plan. She refused every time, saying she couldn't put me out like that and didn't want to be a burden and such. I'm trying not to push too hard, but I just hate seeing her treated so badly. Her mental health is taking a huge hit from it all. She wants to leave on her own terms, on her own power, and I get that on some level, but I've never been in an abusive relationship, and I can't understand fully what she's going through. I love her very much, and I don't know how to help. I'm scared I'm making it worse somehow. I'm sorry, I'm starting to get ranty. Any helpful insight or advice on what I can do to help and support her would be amazing. Thank you. Yes, but you don't want to hear it. Leave her ass alone. Leave her ass alone, and then even after she leaves him, leave her ass alone. You know why? Because she will still be with him, and your ass will be in a graveyard because he's a jealous fool and he thinks you're trying to take what he considers to be his property. Because, see, she wouldn't just be leaving him just to leave him. She'd be leaving him to, allegedly for you since you all in love with her and stuff. That's what you're trying to get going here. You're a dummy, sir. You don't never get yourself in a mix in situations like this. This is how motherfuckers end up dead. Your mother would be burying her son, and that silly bitch would still be with that crazy motherfucker that she's messing with, and you would just be dead. Okay, then she'd be crying on somebody else's shoulder. She is with him because that's what she wants to be. If she didn't want to be with him, she would not be there. That's the part that you just don't understand. She all these excuses that she's making to you. If somebody really want to get out of a situation, trust me, they gonna dive at the first exit out. The fact that she's making excuses to stay tells me all I need to know. She ain't trying to leave him. She just playing you. Whatever you giving her, stop giving it to her. Money, time, gifts, food, whatever it is. Whatever it is, stop. Dry that well up. Block her on your phone and get ghost. That's somebody else's girlfriend and he's an idiot. Leave them alone. Okay, there's too many stories like this in the news where the man trying to put on his cape like he gonna be Captain Save Ho, coming in there, your aunt ass end up pushing up Daisy 6 feet under. And then they're like, oh, he was so nice. He was trying to help her and stuff. And the bitch is still with the motherfucker. And your ass all dead, your mother all in tears, your whole family destroyed because you made a stupid choice picking a woman with your dick instead of your brain. Now, see, if I was your big sister or your mother, that's what I'd be telling you right now. I'd be kicking your little ass. Sitting up here talking about, I'm in my 30s. She's this and that. Yeah. How you gonna be in a relationship with somebody that's in a relationship with somebody else? You talking crazy. Yeah, you definitely need to leave this alone because you tripping. Question number 11. Ooh, I could just see it now. He about to get beat up or shot or stabbed or something. These types of dudes are not wrapped too tight. I'm telling you. Anybody who would treat a woman like that is crazy. And you gonna put yourself in that mix? You need to really listen to what I'm saying here, sir, before you end up at somebody's morgue. This is just not even cool at all. Okay, question 11. Male, 26 to 29, out of Cardiff in the UK. I met this young lady on a dating app. Oh, here we go again. And we've been talking for over a month. I suddenly realized that I'm always the one texting first. I mean, when I text her, she answers, but she never initiates a conversation lately. In the past, however, she would send a message at the end of the day, sorry I haven't been around, but not lately. The conversation's good though. We talk nicely, etc. She's always got something wrong though. She has a condition, so she's always sick. I would like to meet in person, but I have to wait on that because of her having to get COVID tests and results and all some other doctor's tests and whatever. It might be another month. I told her to let me know when. I've always been supportive of her condition. Sometimes she doesn't want to talk, which if she's sick is understandable. So anyway, I stopped messaging her first to see if she would actually initiate. It's been like 3 days, and as I thought, no message from her. The last time we spoke, she was upset about some family stuff, and I told her I'm here to talk anytime. I expressed the importance of chatting on the phone, etc. I felt I put myself out there the last few messages, so I obviously have interest. The last few days, she has even liked some of my Facebook posts, but she still hasn't messaged me. Anyway, from this point, what would you do? Continue not contacting her to see if she has interest? I'm thinking about this so much because we just have so much in common, which has been a rare thing. Thanks. Young lad from Cardiff in the UK. This girl don't want you. She's not interested in you. She went so far as even create an illness, a medical illness, that would give her an excuse to avoid you. You don't understand that that's what happened, but that is what's going on. And the fact that she does whatever interest she had in you is over now, and so just let it go. Okay, you would be smart to block her number and to go on with your life and like someone else. You're taking a situation that you met her, met her over this dating app and you talked to her. You haven't even met in person and you already this emotionally invested. This is not a healthy situation for you and it makes no sense. Okay? This is all bad. This is all bad. Please leave this girl alone. Just move on from this. She's not interested, okay? She's trying to do the let you down easy thing, but you just insist. So go block her on your Facebook account, block her on your phone, block her on the message app thing, and then go on with your life, okay? Question number 12. Wait, I need some water in my throat. It doesn't matter what she is. See, y'all always want to bring some third party into it. One of the things I've noticed is your default answer is that whatever a dude does is because of some other woman, or whatever a woman does is because of some other man. Elevate your thinking, please. There's multiple reasons why people do things, and 90% of them are not what you all think. Okay? That default answer like that, that's your bottom line for everything. It's some bitch. He's fucking around with some bitch. This I mean, okay. Well, we don't know what they want to do. Sometimes men just are sick of you and they go out and they get drunk with their friends or go hang out in a bar, play pool, go play basketball down the street. They don't be doing nothing. They just don't want to be looking at you, okay? Because you get on their fucking nerves. You talk shit too much. Being around you is there's always a fussing and a fighting going on. There's always some bullshit and drama and miscommunication. It causes tension. They come home, they can't relax. They just want to relax. So they go to their buddy's house where they can relax. Down in his man cave and watch the game and stuff like that. Hang out with the boys. They don't be with no woman. But they don't want to be with you. But your default answer is, you with some bitch. You with some bitch. It just never fails. Sometimes it really is, ladies, that simple. You know, he don't want to be bothered with no woman. He's sick of women, mainly because of you. You're leader of that parade, and he's like, oh no, 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 I don't want none. I don't want none of this. I don't want to be bothered with her nor anything that looks like her. I'm just going to just be by myself, or I'm just gonna hang with the fellas and just do what I do: talk shit, play dominoes, and cards, and drink and watch sports. That's what they do, you know. They do that kind of stuff a lot. But you guys be at home thinking that they're out fucking all the time. That's the only thing you think. And that's kind of like I look in the chat stream and I see that all the time as the default answer for many of you. And it's like, wow, this is kind of amazing. They only have that one thing. Yeah, video games too. That's right. I forgot about that, Anonymous. That's right. Video games too. They seriously. There's certain men that do that chase pussy all the time. Okay, but you know your dude. Okay, but these most of these dudes, they just want to escape you by any means necessary. So let's move on. Question number 12. Female, 21 to 26, out of Brisbane, Australia. My husband and I don't want children. His parents, especially his mother, keep thinking that we're going to change our minds. I have bad health problems related to my reproductive system and have been approved, and I'm scheduled to have a hysterectomy around the holidays. Wow. And you're only in the 21 to 26 age group? What's going on there, girlfriend? Around the holidays, I need advice on how to tell his parents. To explain in more detail, I've had horrible, horrible menstrual cycles since I started my period at the age of 12. I had a biopsy done last year, and it came back showing that I have a really bad hormone imbalance. And since then, I've been on progesterone pills that regulates it. If I'm remembering what my doctor told me correctly, basically my uterus is a powerhouse that just continues pumping out new tissue to shed. So I bleed all the time. It's super heavy and clotty and awful. Oh my God, you poor thing. I feel really weak and I have anemia. One time I was on my period for 7 months straight. Oh my God. With heavy flow, no light days or breaks over. Okay, yeah, you would be a candidate for a hysterectomy. That is very true. Even if we actually did want kids, it would be hard for me to carry a fetus because of all these issues. I've tried explaining some of this to my mother-in-law and father-in-law, and it goes in one ear and out the other. So about 2 weeks ago, I had an appointment with my OBGYN. We talked about other options to get this shit gone and eventually landed on a hysterectomy. I'd already thought of this and talked it through with my husband, so I was very happy that the OB was hopeful that my case would be approved due to the health issues we talked about. And I did. I was got a call from scheduling, and I'm scheduled for December 16th. There's no way I can get around telling him I'm having surgery done because it'll be so close to the holidays, and his parents are always wondering what we're doing. I know they're going to be upset when they find out, even though they have no real right to be upset or even know about the surgery. How should I go about telling them? Just casually being up that I'm having a health issue and need surgery? I have no clue. One way or another, they'll find out it was a hysterectomy, so I don't want to lie or be too secret about it because it'll just make it worse for my husband and I in the long run. Any advice is appreciated. I'm going to say this. What they find out in the long run versus what you tell them directly in before it happens are two completely different things. Keep your mouth shut. Do you want to go into your surgery with a peace of mind and calm and your husband calm and the family calm and everything? Don't say shit until after it happens and after you're on your feet and after something. Because you can always lie. You can always say, "Oh, I had to get what you call it, appendectomy." It's in the same general vicinity, right? So, they usually do that with the laparoscope, right through the belly button. They go and they take, do what they need to do. And it's, in the same general vicinity. So you doing like this and holding in that area there, they're going to think that it's because of that. And that's all they need to know, that you had a surgery and that was that. Now, what you had the surgery for and all the details that you're talking about, they don't need to know that. That's not your mama. That's your husband's parents. And they don't need to know all them details about your body. Well, if she's been dealing with this, she's in her 20s and she's been dealing with this since the age of 12. And after bleeding for 7 months, 7 months straight, uh, can we not understand why she would want that particular part of her body and that misery that she's been suffering for more than a decade to be gone from her life? If she wants a kid, she can always adopt a child. She wants a kid, she can always get a surrogate. She doesn't have to carry it herself. And even like she said, with all these severe health problems, there's no way she would have a viable pregnancy anyway. So there's no point in her holding onto a uterus that is unusable for her and that is causing her agony, pain, and drama and other extenuating health problems because of it. This is why hysterectomies were invented for women like this. Okay, so there should be no reason why she needs to run around to 3 or 4 doctors to get to where she's living the drama herself. She don't need. It's not like it's a secret diet where she had to go and try to figure out, and they gave her a diagnosis and she's not sure that the diagnosis is correct. She's living the shit and has been living it for 12 years. Okay, so there's no reason for her to continue to suffer and all of that with something that she can't even use anyway. She's already tried the hormones. It's not working. Okay, so she's arrived at it. She's happy with it. So we need to, be happy for her because I couldn't imagine going through that. I mean, at such a young age, all through her teens, when she should have been having parties and going to just say she was laid up in bed and scared to go anywhere because of the heavy bleeding. She bleeding on her clothes and all stuff. I mean, come on now, ladies. You know what I mean? This is we not gonna do that to her. We're going to support her decision because this little girl is in agony. And she needs, which that's not her question anyway. Her question is what she should do about alerting her husband's family. And so really that's all we should be commenting on because that's the content of the advice question. She wants to know how she should best tell them when she's already tried to tell them and they haven't listened. So that's why I said don't tell them because they're in that mindset of I'm not trying to hear that. So when you have people like that and they're older and they probably had dreams about their son, grandchildren, all this kind of stuff, they have to let go of their fantasy visions that they had while their son was growing up to accept is that he has fallen in love with this woman and this woman is not going to have any children. That doesn't mean they can't adopt. Doesn't mean they can't have a surrogate, like I said. But what it does mean is that this young girl here is going to get rid of a huge problem that's making her life miserable. And I'm 100% behind her. Yeah, this affects everything. This affects everything. Can you imagine? You can't even go to sleep because you got to put, all the stuff in them hospital pads and stuff down because stuff's going to be happening. That's why I say, she does. They neither one of them want children, and like I said, if they want, because when they do the hysterectomy, they usually leave, the ovaries, so she could get her ovaries and get take extra eggs, or they could do that beforehand if she wants to keep some aside or whatever. And yeah, I mean, this is really sad. It's really sad that she had to go through that for so long before she finally got permission to get this problem eliminated. I feel really bad for her. And telling these parents is the least of your worries. Focus on yourself right now. Do what's best for you, okay? So that you make it through this. You're healthy and happy on the other side. Your healing is quick. Try to stay positive when you go into this with a positive state of mind. You'll ace this and you'll come out. Everything will be good. Be all gravy. And then once you're healed up, like I said, lie. If you can't think of something that's better, lie. Ask your gynecologist or whoever's going to do the surgery, what kind of lie, what's in that area that you could tell them that you got cut out that'll, derail their conversation. Lie like a dog because it's going to be best for you. Okay? And then way later, years down the road, you can tell them if you want to. Or not if you please, because they really don't need to know. All they need to know is you're not having no kids. Question number 13, female 26 to 29 from Oakland. Oh, my girl from the town. I met this dude about 2 weeks ago. He asked for my number while I was getting a coffee. Anyway, we had two really good dates with a third planned for this weekend. There are just a few things I have need had. Okay, I don't know what she means. Okay, on our first date, we ordered nachos and he fed some to me. I then got a little bit of salsa on the side of my mouth and he wiped it off before I had a chance to. This has never happened before. He calls me baby all the time. I asked him why and he said it's because he's 6 years older. We were sitting outside having our meal and he gave me his scarf because I was cold. When we went to leave, he put my jacket on me and even my backpack. He holds my hand when crossing the road and will stand with me until I get on the train and text to see if I got home okay. We got to talking about attraction, and he asked me what I liked about him, and I asked what he liked about me. He said that he liked that I was always smiling and I gave off a good energy. He then said that my beauty is different. I asked a good or bad different, and he said good. I can't decide if this is a good or a bad thing. I do think he likes me. He's always mentions his meeting again. He's also very religious, so I'm not sure if that's why he hasn't pushed for eggplant yet. Most guys I date tend to want it pretty soon after meeting. What you have met, young lady, finally, is someone who knows how to act, who is, like a gentleman. He's doing, gentlemanly, gallant type of behaviors. And you, having never seen or even heard of that, evidently, don't even know what's going on. Um, I like the fact that he's not being overly touchy feely with you. The stuff that he's doing, like holding your hand, across the street. That sometimes the guys will put their hand like in the, small of your back, or they wrap their arm around your shoulder. They do something to, it's like a protective gesture. And they're, making sure that you get to the other side safely. He makes sure that you get home okay, walking you to the train and all this kind of stuff, stand there till you get on safely. A lot of dudes, they pull up and they jump, throw you out the car, and before you even can say bye, good, the door slams and they on down the road. So you have a guy who evidently was raised well. He's very considerate. He's a gentleman. Enjoy it, okay? Enjoy it, because this is how men are supposed to treat women. Most didn't get the memo though. They don't know. So I don't know about that baby part, but you know, everything else is cute. The wiping the food off your face, that's cute. That's a little seductive tactic right there. But it was innocuous because it's in a public place and there's a zillion people there, so it's no big deal. Now I had to ask you this though. Okay, he liked that you gave off good energy and all those stuff. And did you ask him is your beauty a good different or bad different? Why would you ask him that? Obviously, if you asked him about things that why he liked about you and he said that your beauty was different, that means it's a positive thing. So why would you ask him good different or bad different? What if he said bad different just to fuck over you because you asked a stupid ass question? See, that's me. And that's what it could be, but we don't know that, Lee. So we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Okay? Until he does something that's not gentlemanly, we have no reason to charge him with a crime, right? He hasn't done anything of a criminal nature. So you give him the benefit of the doubt. But this thing right here, though, this asking this kind of stuff, I'm just such an asshole. And I know this about me. If I was a dude and some girl, I told her something positive about herself, right? And then she came back with something like that, I would just, the evil side of me would take over. And I would just want to crush her because she said something stupid. And it was like an open door, it was an open avenue to put the smash on somebody that asked for it. And I would oblige them. That's how I roll. I do the same thing to dudes. So if you ask me a stupid question, expect that implies that there's something wrong with you. I'm going to agree with you and I'm gonna up the ante. I'm gonna say, yeah, I didn't really want to tell you that, but you right. I said it was different, but what I really mean is it's fucked up. It's like one half of your face is different from the other side. You look like that man that's got the white face and the black face on what you call the Joker. You know? It's like this fishing for compliments shit. I'm not going to do that with you. I'm going to cream sauce you. You shouldn't have said that. And I will teach you to never do that again because I'm going to hurt every feeling that you ever had. Don't do that. Because you might run into some kind of fucked up dude like me, and then you're going to be all sad and depressed for the rest of your life saying, I shouldn't have said that. I should have kept my mouth closed. I done told you all 500 million times you talk too fucking much. You don't know something, have nothing to say, and you say stupid shit. Stop fucking talking. You don't have anything sensible to say. All you were supposed to say to the man was, oh, well, thank you. That's it. Not ask any stupid self-deprecating question like that. Man, that's really is that he really is a gentleman. Because I'm telling you, I already know what me. I would have been like, shit. No, she didn't ask me that. Yes, be quiet. That's the problem. Most women talk too damn much. Always telling something they don't have no business telling. And then, people like at your jobs and stuff, they just know all your business, everything about your family, your in-laws, everything. You just run in your goddamn mouth. You talk too much. Just telling everything. What everybody need to know all that for? Don't nobody give a shit about your in-laws but you. Probably not even you. You just talk about it because you don't have shit else to talk about. You know what to give yourself something to talk about? Read a goddamn book. Okay? Then talk about the books you read. That's just something to get some interesting conversation going. Do something with yourself. And stuff. This is ridiculous. But anyway, yes, don't pay no attention to him talking as this is game and stuff. You go by, give him the benefit of the doubt. Okay, this is what you end up jaded and fucked up. You give him the benefit of the doubt until he shows you a sign that he's not, that what he's doing is fraudulent. Okay, but there are really some men who really were raised like this. They should not be lumped in the category with knuckleheads. Okay, just on the strength. You don't do people like that. Until he shows you that he's got some knucklehead tendencies, you give him the benefit of the doubt. Okay, but you already know how to recognize a knucklehead when you see one. Y'all been around here for months, most of you. Some of you are new, but you've been around here. You've been listening to the lessons. You know what's up. You know how to read people now. So you would know when it's some bullshit, okay? So don't do that. Don't put that on the dude until he shows you that that's who he is. Then you drop the hammer on him, okay? But that's gonna go hammering on folks just because you don't do people like that. Give him a chance. Question number 14, female 30 to 36. Oh, another person from Houston. I have worked with a colleague at the Houston Medical Center for 7 years now. I'm a nurse and he's a doctor. We have always got on very well and have the best banter and always have a laugh. We have been on work nights together out and always have fun. Yeah, we just gonna let people just be who they are for a minute, okay? Y'all just relax. Have you guys ever seen that? Y'all know how many of you been to Houston and seen that medical center area? It's like what, 12 hospitals all right by each other? It's crazy. 7, 8, 10. I don't know how many it is, but it's like It's just like a zillion hospitals all in one area, and everybody goes there to get treatment. They in all these different hospitals, women's hospital, Baylor's there, all the stuff, cancer treatments. It's just ridiculous how many hospitals in this one area. So anyway, that's where she works, somewhere over there. Over the past few weeks of working with him, I feel I'm developing stronger feelings for him. The more I work with him, the stronger they get. I find myself thinking about him on days off. The only thing, though, is he's a married man and now has a child. I could never let anything happen as I wouldn't do that to his wife. I have worked with his wife a few times. They are complete polar opposites. She is shy and very quiet, to be honest. He just doesn't seem happy at home. The other week, he was very quiet at work and even messaged me later to say, sorry for being off, as things are rough lately. The way he looks at me sometimes and how we get on just makes me feel sometimes that he feels the same. Not in a big headed way at all, as I majorly lack confidence and have been single practically forever. Maybe it's because he shows me a bit of interest and is nice to me. I just don't know what to do as I know he is out of bounds. You don't do shit. You write all these fantasies into a short story and then you send it into a magazine and you get paid. That's what you do because you live in a fantasy. And I'm telling you, I would not fuck around with them women in Houston. Cussed out. Oh no, this I'm gonna leave her alone. You know why? Because she hasn't actually done anything yet. She see what I mean? Because that would warrant the cussing. She hasn't done anything yet. She's merely contemplating the pros and cons. But I'm gonna tell you what. When I was in Houston, right before I left, there was a story in the news. This young girl in her 20s started at a new job, and this is a true story. Started at a new job because the story was all in the newspaper and on TV and everything. She started a new job, little black girl, fresh out of college, and this dude who was on the job turns out to be somebody's husband. Says, "Oh, let me take you to lunch for it. It's your first day here." Now, being a young girl and nobody had warned her about that kind of stuff, she didn't know that she's supposed to say no, thank you, no, thank you. That's very nice of you, but no, thank you. Right? Instead, she went completely innocent. She's thinking that it's really true that this guy, is one of her superiors, is really welcoming her to the job. Now, when they do that kind of stuff, usually it's a group of people. It's not one on one. So it'd be like the whole department or your whole unit, six, seven, whatever number of people would go out with lunch together to welcome her to their unit. It wouldn't be a one on one. But again, she was young and nobody told her these things. So she didn't know. Fresh out of college, what does she know? So she goes to lunch. And what happens that the dude's wife, one of her friends, sees them out. Totally misinterprets the situation and thinks the dude is cheating. Runs and tells the wife. The wife gets a couple, this friend and another friend, so it's three of them. They wait for the little girl to come out the building. They kidnap her, throw her in his trunk, take her out to the Houston shipyards, throw gasoline on her, and light her on fire. Leave her there to die because this wife was so jealous that her husband took this little girl to lunch. And she thought, based on this misinformation from her friend, that this is who he was cheating with. Not realize the man just met the little girl a few hours before that. So I'm telling you this, and I heard all kinds of other stories about them women in Houston. They when it comes to their men, they're crazy. Do not fuck around and end up in the shipyards. Okay, all kind of stories I heard. These women, they just when it comes to their man, I'm not even like, like some of the dudes when I was down there, like some dudes would come up to you and they want to talk to you and stuff. I'm looking for the ring. And I'm like, if he had a ring or a tan line, I'm like, no, get away from me. Because, see, I could fight and everything. I was working out in the gym. I was doing, bench pressing 140 pounds at the time at Shoulders of Life, looked like a boxer and stuff. So I could definitely defend myself. But could I defend myself against three bitches? Maybe. But then maybe not, especially what if they had knives or something? You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not, I mean, I can punch you, but I'm not into all of that kicking knives out of people's hands and stuff like they do in the movies. I'm not that good. So it was just something after that, I decided that, after the stuff I seen and heard people, women getting poisoned, getting life tossed on them, fuck their face up, all kind of stuff at the hands of jealous women in Houston, Texas. So I cannot, I'm going to tell you, just based on that, now admittedly that was many years ago, But I doubt that the atmosphere has changed. There's some women are crazy about their men down there. I would not mess around with this man's wife because you don't know what kind of wife she is or what how her friends are. Just because somebody, is looking nice and genteel and stuff now and married a doctor, that don't mean she don't have a hood side. That would be like me marrying a doctor. I could do that. I could easily pull that off. I could socialize and hobnob with the best of them. But don't think I won't take you in the back of the building and beat your ass and beat you and call you every kind of bitch there is. So you don't know people's family history and how they grew up and stuff. You only know what you see now. So be careful with that. And you playing a very dangerous game, especially at work. You can get fired for that. Stop it. And if you need to, it's like 900 hospitals there. Transfer to a different one. You never have to see his ass. That's an easy solution. Question number 15, male, 21 to 25, out of New Haven, Connecticut. I'm a guy, and there's a chance that I may have a female roommate soon. Oh, I remember you discussed the male roommate that you had before, and I wanted to ask what are some of the things I should keep in mind in order to make this better for both of us. I'm 25. I'm not exactly how sure old she is, but I think she's around 22, if that matters. I'll tell you the number one thing to do is to make housemate rules. Housemate rules about noise, about guests, about overnight guests, about bringing people home unexpectedly, and use of the kitchen and cleaning, food, stuff that you guys are going to share and stuff that you're going to have separate. Spell everything out. Spell everything out, and also make sure that you are not to go into each other's private spaces. Now, my roommate, he's so stupid. This dude, okay, I had been given this really expensive perfume. My dad had given it to me, and I barely would use it because, I mean, in those days, it cost almost $200. And it was like, a present for, graduating from college and all that stuff. So he gave me a Louis Vuitton purse and this $200 perfume and, some flowers and all that stuff. But I mean, those were like the nicest gifts my dad had ever gotten me in my life. So it was important to me. It's Panther de Cartier or something like that it was called. So anyway, this motherfucker lets this broad go. Okay, his room was downstairs. My room was upstairs, and there was no reason for this girl to come upstairs because the middle level was, the kitchen, dining room, living room. So she gonna come from through the kitchen and stuff, come all the way up the stairs and go into my room, and not only use some of my expensive perfume. No, Panther. I don't know who Panther de Cartier. Cartier. I don't know. It was a long time ago, and not only did she use it, bitch used half the fucking bottle. She used to do using Jean Naté or some shit. This is that kind of stuff. This was concert. This was perfume. You spritz it and you let it drift on you, and that's enough scent. One spray is all you need. My room reeks like that perfume for weeks, and I made him give me the money for it. I sure did. Oh no, you gonna give me my money. But it hurt me because that was the bottle, it wasn't the same. Even if I went and bought another one, it wasn't gonna be the same because it was the one that my dad got me, and I wanted to use it, you know, myself over a long period of time. But the bitch used half the fucking bottle. Who does that? Oh my God, he got cussed out so bad. So that's the kind of thing I hear, you got to get all that shit straight. You got to get all that straight before she ever sets foot up in there. And notice, and it's going to be if it's something, she like to have a whole bunch of wild friends in the house all the time and stuff like that. See, you guys might want to reconsider that. She likes to smoke and you don't smoke drugs and all that. You better make sure that you all on the same page with all of that. So that's my suggestion. But that would be even if you had a male roommate, it would still be the same. Question number 16. This is a man, 30 to 36, from Mooresville, North Carolina. Wow, I wonder where that is. My wife and I are having lunch at the house of a close married couple we have known for a decade. We are upper class, income class people with professional jobs, so it's rare that we are involved in drama. During lunch, my best friend's wife claims that she caught her husband cheating. Wow. During the lunch, he was outraged as she was telling us that their marriage business, but she got even louder and more upset about it. Wow. I was shocked by this admission and speechless. She even had his phone and showed us all the inappropriate photos and text messages that he had with other women. She was crying at this point and he stormed off to the garage. I went out there to talk to him about how he was feeling. He claimed he only cared about her ruining his reputation in the community and was afraid she would tell the church, the golf and bike club, etc., and how bad this was going to make him look and that she needed to just keep her mouth shut. Oh, no, she doesn't. Oh, no, she doesn't. No, she doesn't. Although I believe his priorities were misplaced, I remained quiet and told him I would reach out to him in a few months once this all blows over. In a separate incident, a few months later, we are having dinner with our neighbors we have known for just a couple of years. They're a little younger than us, but both are connected in the community as well. The husband asked me to follow him down to the basement to see the work he has completed down there, and then use that as an opportunity to tell me he has caught his wife cheating and wanted to know what options were available. My head was spinning to the point I didn't know what to say. I just looked at him dumbfounded as he explained all the details of the infidelity. Afterwards, at home, I asked my wife why these people decide to confide in me over these things. I tend to stay out of couples' business and their entanglements. She says because I am discreet and that I do not gossip or spread rumors, then I should just be supportive. I'm confused what to do. I do not know when to reach back out to them. I only know that both couples are working these problems out and are apparently staying together. I hate to sound judgmental and to abandon friends when they are going through a hard time, but I just feel I don't know these people anymore. My wife and I have a zero tolerance policy towards infidelity and are in divorce court Monday morning type of people. It is spelled out in our prenup. So I don't think I can provide any constructive advice to anyone else about their marriage woes. Where do I go from here? Am I being too harsh? What do I say? Do I even reach out again? Thanks in advance. No, you stay out of it. The fact that they told you about it, this is your out, and you know that they're working on it, right? So if they come to you and want to talk about it anymore, say, I really prefer that I not be involved in your marriage. A marriage is made of two people, and I think that you two. Yes, this was exposed. Whatever you want to say about their revelations, but at this point, I think this is a matter that is private, and that the two of you should work this out, perhaps with the assistance of a marriage counselor. But I'm going to respectfully decline any further involvement. Okay, I'm your friend. I'm not your therapist. Something like that, and get yourself out of it. Okay. Now, as far as the man worrying about, his wife telling the church and all of that, oh, because he want to do his little dirt and hide his hand. He want to what they say throw a rock and hide his hand and act like he didn't do nothing because he feel like if nobody know, then it's like that thing like if a tree falls in the forest, does it make a sound? So he's trying to act like if I cheat and nobody knows, does it count? And my thing is, oh yes, I'm gonna send these pictures. I'm gonna post this shit on Facebook. I'm gonna humiliate you because you had no business treating me like that. You had no business doing that to me. I'm going to make you pay. Now, I admit that some people are not as vindictive as me. But if you look in the dictionary under vindictive bitch, you will see my face there. That's me. Because I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you back and I'm going to make you pay. I'm going to humiliate you professionally, in your religious circle, in your social circle, at your job. I'm going to fuck you up because you shouldn't have done that. You should never have treated me that way. And then to sit there not concerned about how you hurt me and the damage that you've done to me in our marriage, you worried about your fucking reputation. But you didn't worry about your reputation when you was pulling your dick out, did you? So that's why to me that means that's a bunch of bullshit and I'm fixing to tell everybody. I'm going to buy a billboard and say, look at this cheating motherfucker right here and put your thick picture up there on that big old 8 foot by 12 foot billboard or however, whatever size they are. Them suckers is huge. That's going to be your face grinning there. So everybody will know. Everybody in this whole town, everybody who passes through on the interstate, everybody is going to know what you did. Everybody. And my thing is, my grandfather said, you know what? Nothing passes over the devil's back that don't hit him in the belly. That means if you don't want some dirt to be known to other people, then don't do dirt. Because once you do dirt, it's open season. And you do dirt to me, I'm telling it all. I used to tell on my brothers. I see no reason to stop telling now. I'm going to tell it. Oh, yeah, I was a tattletale. I was the tellingest child ever. Ooh, I'm gonna tell mommy, I'm gonna tell daddy, and in this case, I'm gonna tell the pastor, I'm gonna tell your job, I'm gonna tell everybody, all your friends, everybody gonna know. Oh yeah, I was terrible. I was a little tattletale. But hey, what it is what it is. All right, let's move on because you got some ratchet friends. Question number 17, female 30 to 36 from Calgary, Canada. So about 10 weeks ago, I had a short lived fling with a guy that I met on Tinder. It didn't end well. He ignored me despite stating he wanted to make concrete plans, would leave me on read for days. I sent him a fuck you email and blocked him and didn't think of him again. I decided I was done with dating for now and haven't gone on a date or hooked up with anyone since. But a couple of weeks ago, I started getting pregnancy symptoms, but I have an IUD, so I didn't pay too much mind. Long story short, I am pregnant. Oh no, with an IUD. Super rare, but not impossible. I never used the barrier method with the hookup as we'd both been screened for STDs right before we met, and I had the 99.2% effective IUD. I believe in a woman's right to choose, but don't believe I could have an abortion personally. I've always been incredibly safe about birth control precisely because of my feelings about pregnancy. I'm destroyed by this and have been crying since I found out. IUD pregnancies are riskier, more likely to end in miscarriage, but amazingly, many actually turn out fine. However, I'm honestly hoping for a miscarriage. Considering adoption, if the pregnancy lasts, the hookup was clear that he didn't want kids, and so was I. Should I tell the hookup? How? I'm scared he's going to be mean or angry, and I'm so emotionally fragile right now, I just don't know if I could handle it. I know you are in the U.S. and might not be aware of this, but since I am in Canada, abortion is safe and legal if I change my mind. So are prenatal and pregnancy services. So, what are your thoughts on my situation? You know, this was a situation that was a complete accident. You don't want him, he don't want you. Why would you have a baby in a situation like this? See, these are the things that kill me about these women with their little thing talking about, oh, I couldn't have an abortion. Dumb bitch, you know what? Let me just tell you something. You need to get one. Okay, you need to get one. You think that you crying and have it upset now? You have a baby by some fucker like this that don't want you and don't want nothing to do with the kid, and you come telling him, "Well, I'm pregnant," and watch what happens. You're gonna get every feeling you ever had hurt, and you're gonna deserve it for not using a barrier birth control method to protect you from other stuff as well as from pregnancy. You know what? Nothing is 100%. That's why you have to use two birth control methods if you really, really, really don't want to have kids. Everybody using just one, they gambling, and that means that they're okay with getting pregnant, and that was you. So in no mind, you talking about, well, I didn't want a kid and I've been all effective in doing all this stuff. But you a liar, because otherwise you would have used the condom and that too. So don't try to play me like that. And now that you sit up here talking about you gonna get a kid up for adoption and all sorts of shit, you that bleeding heart type, you wouldn't get a kid nothing. You would just sit up there and have a baby by some miscellaneous straight motherfucker you met on a dating app. Please explain to me where that makes a lick of sense. For you to be this old, this is just ridiculous. This is some shit that teenagers do, not women on the downstroke to 40. This makes no goddamn sense. I swear. That silly little the baby just gonna be born to two stupid parents. Now I know you wrote me thinking I was gonna be all on your side and all this old kind of shit here, and saying, oh yes, yes, you should have it, and this and that. I'm in the side for the kids. Kids should not be born to stupid parents. There ought to be a license, a test or something that people have to have. But you just going around willy nilly fucking some clown you met on a dating app and getting pregnant and thinking that that I'm gonna support you in having this kid. This would be the dumbest bitch shit you'd ever done in your life. This all these women doing this kind of shit stupid. Okay, and I tell them to their face, I don't give a fuck. You're doing something stupid. You should not be having no damn baby by some motherfucker you don't even know. Just up there fucking all bare and shit, letting him jet all in you with now just because you got an IUD. And you know them tests can be faked. You do know that, right? If I didn't go to the doctor with you and we switched results at the actual doctor, they don't count. You can buy them forms on the internet, design them in Photoshop and shit. I don't trust that shit. Yeah. And she just so naive. But you take your ass to the gynecologist and you should have, when you found that out, you should have been down there right away. Okay? Because the earlier you get rid of it, the easier it is on you and your body. Go to get an abortion and don't talk about this shit. Don't you tell him shit because he won't give a fuck. He's going to cuss you out and hurt your feelings even more. So you keep your mouth closed. Stop talking. It's your business, not his. He don't give a fuck about you. So would you be calling him for telling him just trying to get some attention and sympathy? You're going to end up getting your ass cussed out. crying and you destroyed and crying. You ain't seen destroyed and crying until you a single parent with no fucking money. Exactly. I'm with you too, A and J. I need to see the blood drawn, and I want to watch through the window while they process it to make sure it's really the same tube and all this stuff. And then I want to see when it comes back, and I want to see it right then, and then I could believe you. But you come giving me some random ass piece of paper that you pulled out your pocket that looks like it's been there for weeks. Hell no, I'm not believing that shit. Plus, you just might have fucked somebody last night and just got it. Get an abortion. Question number 18, male 37 to 45. Deb, finally at 44, I had an awesome first date. It happened on Friday night, and I was so excited to meet someone who meets my criteria. Oh my God, and he lists them: sense of humor, active lifestyle, kid friendly, similar political viewpoints, adventurous, open minded, good financial habits, a good partner to do life with. I'm pretty sure I met her. She's 38. Requirements too, because we planned at least two more days before we left the restaurant and transitioned to another location nearby to sit at a fire pit. Oh, that does sound like it went well. I got really good vibes and she seems really easy to talk to. Plus, we share a lot of common interests and have similar backgrounds. Also, I didn't get any red or yellow flags. Since we were set up via a matchmaking service, we didn't have to do the whole back and forth game of texting and the small talk that comes with online dating. Instead, we went on a blind date, which I'll admit was the best date I've had in the last 2 years because I had no pressure or expectation to live up to. Oh, see, a matchmaking service. Remember we was telling a lady last week or two? No, this is interesting. So far, we've covered the basics: hobbies, interests, family and educational backgrounds, why we moved to our city, occupations, dream vacations, favorite holidays, family traditions, family plans. We don't want many more kids. Levels of sci fi nerdiness. She likes Marvel and tolerates Star Wars. Next, her. How can she tolerate Star Wars? I really want to get to know her, and I'm curious about what questions I should ask for the next few dates to get to know her better. What questions should I ask? I want to be asked in the first few dates. Dude, don't you have just like normal sense of curiosity? Why do you have to go in there with a script? I mean, okay, you said you got, asking her about her interests and hobbies and stuff and what you do and what you could try with her because you always wanted to try it and stuff. I mean, I don't know. This conversation, you can't really force it, but you want to get an idea. But whatever you say to her, the most important thing is not hobbies and interests and education and all that kind of stuff. It's how you live life. How do you make decisions? What kind of things are important to you? What kind of things do you hate? What kind of things do you love? Who are the most important people in your life? Why? What's the most thing that motivates you the most? Why? What would you say your mental state is and why? Stuff like that. You want to know how she thinks. You want to know what motivates her. You want to know what makes her sad and happy and all this kind of stuff. How she feels about things that are important to you. Now, I can't answer that question because only you know what's important to you. So you have to ask her those things to see where she is and where you guys line up and where cross wires. But my whole thing is this. I have found that, instead of like you guys liking the same things, it seems like it's more important that you hate the same things. In relationships, if you guys hate the same things, it's a match made in heaven. Broccoli, Brussels sprouts, liars, you know, Trump, stuff like that. That gives you a solid foundation to build on because you hate the same things. So I would look at that more so than anything else. Okay? But only like I said, only you know what's important to you. All this other stuff, this is cute, but this is all stuff that you would, from a friend, a same sex friend would have these kind of interests, about their holidays and family traditions and all this stuff. You need to know, how she thinks and what she feels and what's, her deep seated interests and motivations about things. Question 19 of 25, 19 to 25. I'm just saying, because I remember one of the presidents, who was that? Was it Bush? Somebody, Reagan? Somebody didn't like broccoli, and they used to make jokes about it all the time. That's where that came from. Oh, I eat all kinds of vegetables. I even love eggplant, so don't that's and I mean real eggplant, like the purple stuff in the garden, that kind of eggplant. Okay, I like the other eggplant too, though. Female 21 to 25 out to UK. My boyfriend and I have been dating for only 8 months. And although I know that's not a long time, I still know what I want. I know I want to move in with my man at around 27, get married at 29, and have a kid 30ish. My boyfriend, on the other hand, doesn't know if he ever wants to get married, and doesn't want to pay for rent ever. So he wants to live with his parents until he can pay for a house. Even that means living with them until he's 30. He's ambitious and he cares so much about money and being financially stable, so he doesn't want to, quote, give money away by paying for rent. I know we're early in our relationship, but these are important topics I don't really know I want. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should break up with him to avoid wasting my time, or maybe I should bite my tongue and wait it out. I do love him so much, but I need some help because I don't know what to do. Okay, first of all, he straight told you, I don't know if I ever want to get married after dating you for almost a year. What does that mean? That means he doesn't see himself ever marrying you. Okay, that's what that means. Read between the lines. He likes you fine. You're a good placeholder. You meet his needs for companionship and eggplant and all that old stuff. You're good for you're useful. But he don't use that word. We don't use that word in this chat, love lady. That word is banned on this channel. We don't insult men like that. Okay? You watch what you say. Just because he's being a generous guy does not make him any horrible name. Now we don't do that. You can tell with new people because they don't know the rules here. We don't call folks names like that. Just because a man is being gentlemanly and cordial and courteous to women does not make him a negative thing like other men like to call him because they are haters. Okay, they don't want women to be treated well. And when you guys use those terms to describe a guy who treats women well, you're buying into their bullshit. Okay, everything on this channel is about reprogramming your mind away from aligning yourself with stupid ass niggas. Okay, and you start posting stuff like that, it shows that your mind is aligned with stupid ass niggas, and that just not no. We don't do that here. Okay, so you form it with a different word, or don't say that at all. Just listen and learn. Okay. Now, young man, young lady rather, this young man is saying to you that he does not want to get married. He does not want to get married to you. You say, do you want to get married? You have a plan. Your plan is so specific that you have ages at which you want to do these certain things. You have a definite plan for your life mapped out. I applaud you for that because you're not trying to waste time. This relationship, however, would be doing that. You'll be wasting your time because he's already told you what time it is. I don't know if I ever want to get married. That is man speak for I don't want to marry you. Okay, that's what that means. Because when they really want to be with you, they know right away. It don't take no 8 months. He knows immediately. Sometimes they know the same day they met you. Okay, definitely within a month or two. They know they might not be ready to act on it, but these words here would never come out of his mouth because he's waiting for the time when when you on the love train with him. Like I said a few weeks ago, you're on the love train with him and y'all riding off into the sunset. And so he knows that you on board, right? With whatever this plan is, he's got you on board and you're going to be part of the program. So he's telling you that is your clue to say, okay, well, that means that what I'm looking for here, my dream that I have for myself is not going to come true, not with this man. So let me dump this situation and move on. That's what you're supposed to do. Okay? If you love him so much, you need to love yourself more. Stick to your program. Stick to your plan. Do not deviate from what you want in your life to make yourself happy and fulfilled. Stick to your plan. Any man that's not on board with your plan, you get rid of him. Okay? It's just that simple. Question number 20. This is from male 26 to 29 from North Charleston, South Carolina. I've been with my fiancee for 4 years. She's the love of my life, and I want nothing more than her happiness. We have a fine eggplant life, like in all honesty, with her is fine. It's not bad at all. I enjoy it, but I wouldn't say if sex with her is great. Until very recently, I would have assumed she would say the same about me. I mean, I'm not some mind-reading, ripped, horse-hung stud. I'm a pretty average guy, and I assumed she thought that our love was average and I had much better than a previous partner. I certainly have. I don't know what happened, but since I gave her a ring, her eggplant drive has shot way up. She's always in the mood for a little love making. However, she's a little bit more insecure about it in her body. I compliment her so much, and I think I initiate and I'm vocal about it, enjoying it enough to ease her concerns. Last week, we just kind of did it, and I was holding her. She was kind of still feeling wavy, and she muttered out, "That was the best eggplant of my life." After things calmed down, she took a little nap in my arms. I assumed she had just said what she said to boost my ego, so I teased her about it when she woke up. She was really embarrassed. She said she doesn't rank her lovers, but she was upset I didn't believe her. I told her I didn't care if she had better elsewhere because she's not with those dudes anymore. Then she got very upset. She asked me if I felt the same way about her, and I told her I enjoyed it with her, and that's all that matters. She didn't ask me if she was my best. So here we go. I told her I refused to answer that question, and she said that that meant no. I then tried to explain to her that I don't care if she's not the best, and that if having the best is of my life was the most important thing in my relationships, I'd still be with a manipulative, alcoholic, married woman in her 40s. She cried. I tried to reiterate that it wasn't a big deal, but she is still mad and told me to leave her alone. After she stopped crying, she said she was over it and it really wasn't that important. But she's still weird about eggplant and won't talk to me. She'll ask if she's tight enough, wants to try out new positions that obviously doesn't like, tries to behave like a popcorn star in bed, which turned me completely off. I don't know why she's just upset about something as little as eggplant. I understand I made her insecure after that, and I feel pretty bad about it, but what can I do to help her feel like she used to? What you don't understand, you idiot, is that for women, a woman in love, her emotional state and her connectedness to her man in that romantic sense is what enables her to have the best eggplant ever because it takes it to a different level. It can be so emotional and so moving that you're moved to tears. That I mean, both of you. Okay, it can be like that. But you're only going to have that when you have two people that have a very open heart and they admit they care about each other, love each other, and they're in there together. Okay, it's not a competition. Some days, even when you love the man madly, and it is actually the best that you've ever had with him at some point, there's going to be times when you be like, what the fuck was that? What just happened here? Or that sucked, or, I mean, people be tired. I mean, stuff happens. It's not going to be all, fireworks all the time. It's just not going to be like that. You in a long term relationship, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes you just be like, okay, look, we got 10 minutes. You better make this happen. If you want some, you better come on. So I could jump in the shower. We could go get these kids, or the kids gonna be home, or something. I mean, there's something to you got like this little 20-minute window, and you make it work. It ain't gonna be no fantabulous, skyrockets and Lucy in the sky with diamonds moment. It's not gonna be like that. So her expectations that she would be quote the best, she's basing them on her perception that you're viewing it like she is, like the emotional connection is what makes it the best for her. She's thinking that you're the same way. And so she's saying, she's feeling like since you're saying it's not, that you don't love her like she loves you. That's what she's saying. I hope that makes sense. I know that was kind of roundabout, but that's what's going on. She doesn't understand that men are a bit different in that direction. And like you said, if you were just going to be with just for the best, situation in the bed, you would have been with somebody who was completely dysfunctional and crazy just for that experience, but that wasn't what you were looking for. So in the future, let me explain something to you. What you need to learn how to do. Shut the fuck up. Anytime a woman asks you a question like that for which there is no good answer, no matter what you say, it's going to be the wrong thing. You know what you do? Like in the commercials, you shove a Snickers bar in your mouth and you don't say shit. You know how they show that commercial? Where how the dudes do that? That's exactly because they're in that moment. Like, oh no, whatever I say is going to get me killed. Shove the Snickers bar in your mouth. That's what they do. That's maybe we should start, laying you up a stock of Snickers bars so you can do the same thing. But what I'm just going to say for sure is that you're going to have to talk to her, openly and tell her, look, and don't you ever tell her, well, it's okay. And it's just, because that's demeaning. What would possess you to say some shit like that to your woman? You're stupid. Okay, that's all I can say to you. I'm trying to tell you how to talk to women, and you up there just cutting your own throat. You don't never tell your wife no shit like that. Your girlfriend either. You lie if you have to, but the main thing that you do is you don't say anything. Say, babe, we don't need to talk about the past. I'm done with them bitches. I don't give a fuck about them. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about what we can do. What new position you want to try next week? Let's look at some stuff and let's see what we gonna do here. Divert, just like you do a toddler. Divert her attention to something else. You know, you go by, pat her on the butt and say, look at that juicy ass and stuff. That's all mine. Stuff like that. You got to start turning her mind around to make her feel like she's connected to you. Instead of you sitting up there saying, well, it's okay, it's good, but, it's not the best I ever had or anything like that. You're an idiot. If she still marries you, you're going to be lucky. What a retard. Question 21, female 30 to 36 from Winnipeg, Canada. My boyfriend of several months, he is 42, lied about living with his previous girlfriend. I broke off all contact. My ex-husband lied about everything. Am I projecting or following my gut? Deb, I just hate a liar, and I'm known for being brutally honest. I can be cruel, not intentionally, but if you ask me if I look fat and the answer is yes, well, a guy I've been seeing for a few months described his last relationship as a casual 6-month relationship. I asked point blank if they lived together, and he said no, but she stayed over frequently. Now, my line in the sand is never lie to me. Tell me what's happening, and we'll work through it. Come to find out, they lived together for 5 months. In the casual 6-month relationship, they lived together for 5 months. Wow. When I point blank say, I told you if you ever lie to me, I'd be done. No discussion. I meant it. He insisting I misunderstood and told me that they lived together. Total gaslighting. He then asked how it was my business what he did before he met me. My answer is, I don't care if you live like Hugh Hefner with 3 different girls in your bed every night. Just don't lie about it. I cut ties today and honestly do not feel bad about it at all. Full disclosure, my ex lied about absolutely everything, from the most insignificant thing to giant things. I'm wondering if this is clouding my perception. I'm a brutally honest person to a fault, and I really have never been able to wrap my head around someone who can look you in the face and tell a total lie. I told him to lose my number. Now I'm wondering, did I overreact? He's 42, and he lied about living with his previous girlfriend. No, I don't think you overreacted at all. Let me tell you why. So many women would overlook this. Okay, this lying about his relationship status is a major red flag. It's about what's she trying to hide. Okay, and if he's going to lie about something that simple, well, what else is he going to lie about? What big things is he hiding? That to me that's a nothing. And if you're going to lie about that and then try to gaslight somebody and pretend like you actually told them something else that you didn't say, see, this is bad. This is bad. And luckily, I'm very happy that you read the signs correctly and you got yourself away from him before you got in too deep with more lies piled on top of more lies, and then the gaslighting would start and all the other drama that you've already been through. Good job. Good job on taking care of yourself, on having firm boundaries and adhering to them strictly. That is excellent, excellent, excellent. I applaud you. I wish more women would be like you. And that 90% of the bullshit that they endure in relationships with these idiots, they would not be enduring because they did not let bullshit slide from day one. You was on it, girl. Good for you. Good for you. Thanks, Betty. This was excellent. This made my evening. Now, and you didn't overreact. Trust yourself. Okay? You've been through hell with your ex. Trust yourself to protect yourself and stuff. You showed yourself some real self-love there, and you did a wonderful, wonderful job of standing up for yourself. Good job. Keep it up. Question number 22, female 18 to 21 from France. I just broke up with my, quote, boyfriend because of insufficient eggplant. When he can't deliver for more than 2 minutes, what? Or because of heart problems, he's only 32. It's always because, quote, we have bigger issues and problems to solve, and that's not such a big deal. But I'm 21, and it is a big deal. Before I lashed out tonight, it was the 3rd time I mentioned I was not satisfied, but nothing changed. No proposition or responses to my initiatives. I'm done. I go to school. I have hobbies and occupation. I'm also a woman and very sensual. It is the need, and I had told him that from day one. He don't even want to hug me or kiss me. It's only when he wants or feels like I had listened to his advices on my future enough. What the fuck? Also, he mentioned several times wanting to experiment his feminine energy and be in the receptive. I tried it, but it sucks. Plus, he rejects me 60% of the time anyway. Like I have to chase or beg him to have a kiss. I'm too fine for this mess. He wants marriage and values fidelity, but I can't marry him if I already know it. I'll be miserable sexually and emotionally. This is not a good deal. I am pissed, but so relieved because it lasted only 2 months, so I can move on without much damages. Did you ever date a man who acted like this? How would you call this? Hell no, I'd never date a man like act like that. Because the first day when something happened, and like we were supposed to hold hands or kiss or something, and he's gonna play them kind of games. You don't want to do it. I'm done on the spot. I'm not gonna chase you. Never chase a man. Okay, you violated that rule for 2 months by chasing around after him. The second that he gave you 2 minutes of dick, you should have got up and said, "Well, that was nice, and I'm done. Get out." Or if you was at his house, you leave, and you leave him and his 2 minute dick ass there. You don't go trying to make a relationship out of somebody who can't fuck. What is wrong with you? I mean, I know you're young and stuff, but let me just tell you straight, okay? This is all your auntie Deb talking. You got a man and you trying to have a long-term relationship with him. He talking about being married and all this kind of shit, and he can't fuck. You don't marry him. You don't marry him. You will be miserable. You'll be in a marriage where you're sexually frustrated and hating him. Just looking at him just turns you off. You just want to stab him in the eye. You don't want that kind of life. You want a life where your man comes in the door, your heart starts racing because you already know. You already know that motherfucker's gonna get ready to put it down. Okay, you excited because you already know what's coming. You can't wait. You all over him. You like, hi, baby, baby. What you doing? How your mama doing? What you want for dinner? You hungry? You thirsty? You want a drink? Want a kiss? Want a hug? What's going on? What you want? What you want? What you need? Okay, and that's the kind of man that you got when he's putting it down right and loving you right. It's all good. But you got a knucklehead like this and gonna be trying to like regulate on somebody and tell you what he wants to be in the feminine and in the receptive. Pfft, you punk bitch motherfucker. Go over there to the gay bar and find somebody and be as receptive as you want to be. Okay, but that ain't happening here. Yeah, I'm telling you. Run. Run. You know that song? What's that? There's this thing. It's like what is the guy? This plays this music. No, 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 no. Then it stops and the guy says, "Run." Okay, that shit is fierce. I just want to play that all day. But anyway, I need a sound bite of that. So when I have letters like this, I could mash that button and then it would play to tell you to run. Because this is nothing for you to be involved in. In the future, if you meet a man like this and the shit is whack from day one, get rid of him. You don't try to make a relationship with this. You do it with him one time. You see that his shit ain't right and his shit is whack. His dick is whack. His love making is whack. His affection is whack. He can't cook. He's stupid and all the above. You get rid of him. You don't stay in a situation like that and try to make it into something just so you could have a boyfriend. Just because he mentioned the marriage word, tell him to take his marriage and shove it up his ass. Nobody trying to marry you with your useless dick. Oh, 2 minute ass. Shit. You good because he would have got so cussed out. Question number 23, female 18 to 21 from Stone Mountain, Georgia. Hey, Deb, me again. I am the person that wrote you the success story. But I have a small situation. I need your help on it. My boyfriend knows that I don't want to have any children, and I suggested that my best option would be to have my tubes removed or use pills. Don't you get them tied, not removed? Reviewing my choice to use a pill wouldn't be a good idea because I would be sick all the time. But to get my tubes removed would be the best option. He told me before he'd support my decision, but now he looks at it as life altering. Only because I chose to have my tubes removed is for me because I know that I do not want children at all. Additionally, he said that he may want children in the future. What would be my best option, Deb? So far, I'm happy with the relationship and everything else, but this one particular thing. Also, I'm 20 and he is 23. You 20 years old and you trying to make a decision for your whole life based on what? Okay, you don't want to have children. Um, there's other options besides getting your tubes removed. And anyway, I thought they just tied them. What do they? I don't understand. But you once your guy told you that he may want children in the future, that's telling you that his situation with you is tenuous and tentative. That's what he's telling you. Because if you do something is he telling you that's life altered, that means it's irreversible. If you have them removed, that's irreversible. Tied, they can untie them, okay? But you have them removed, cut and removed, that's it. It's all over. So he's telling you right here, well, you could do that, but since I may want children later, probably won't be with you when that happens. I'm going to leave you and I'm going to go over there to somebody who can have me some kids. That's what he's telling you. So, you need to think about what you just heard, that you don't seem to be understanding what you heard, but I'm here to tell you that's what he's saying to you. So you can make a decision accordingly. Either you break up with him and you go find somebody who really doesn't want children and is on the same page as you. I would suggest an older guy that probably already has a kid or two, because he's going to know for sure he don't want no more. Okay. But you got some young cat who's never had any children. He's probably going to want some. If not now, then later after he gets more established. So, this relationship anyway is not something to bank on your future at 20 years old. He's here today, but a couple of years from now, he won't be. So you think about that. Think about what he said to you. Okay. That's very telling. He said that he may want children in the future. That's all you need to hear. He's giving himself an out right there. You need to pay attention. Question number 24, female, 37 to 45, Portland, Oregon. Curious what your dates look like over the age of 40. With kids, work, exes, and not a lot of free time, I am thinking a lot of it will boil down to eggplant. I just don't want to get to the point that all we do is meet for eggplant, nothing else. But then again, both of our time is limited, and doing something date-like doesn't seem so important or necessarily very doable. How do over 40 singles handle dating these days? I'm going to just tell you this. Kids can get babysitters. Work ends at a certain time, or you can take a day off if sick, and you also have paid vacation holidays. Exes shouldn't be a concern in this day and age. Who gives a fuck what they doing? They should be a non-motherfucking factor in your life at present. And not a lot of free time. I'm going to tell you this. A lot of time you wasted watching TV, cleaning up after your kids when they should be cleaning up after themselves. Stuff like that. Watching, movies or whatever. That's time that you could spend dating. It's a matter of what's your priority and how you choose to spend your time. A date doesn't have to take all day. 2-3 hours at the most, and you're done. Then you went out to dinner, you went out to lunch, you window shopped, you back home, you had lunch and you went to a movie, you're back home. 3 hours. Okay? So, somewhere in there, if you want to, hit the mattress, hit the sheets, you can do that too. But like I said, if you want to have an overnight or whatever, there's these things called babysitters. If they really do work. These things called grandparents. Take the kids over there. Aunties, take the kids over there. That's what you do. So I'm of the mind, if you really wanted to make that happen, you could make it work. You could make it work. Question number 25. This is our final question of the night. Woo! Yeah, that's why I'm with you, Lee. I'm like, why would she even bring up exes? Who gives a shit about them? I'm like, wow. So let's move on to question 25. This is from a female in the 37 to 45 age group from San Francisco. Oh, hi, Deb. I love your show and look forward to watching it every week. My son's godmother's boyfriend is always critical. So somebody who's no relation and is a non-motherfucking factor, in other words, is always criticizing my parenting style. I'm a talker and I back it up by action. Teen boys have to be told to do things a million times and only respond if you yell at them. Her boyfriend, let's call him Behemoth Lover. No, you did not. He likes women built like this, has a 28-year-old son who he pays bills for. Okay, so this is the boyfriend who's always criticizing your parenting style. He has a 28-year-old son, and he pays his bills, including his rent in a room at a house with roommates in another city, pays his car insurance, his car note, cell phone, groceries that he shops at his house to get, gas for his car repairs, eating out, computer and books for school, nursing school tuition, dry cleaning clothes, and eating out. Wow. In other words, his son is his bitch. He's supporting him like he's fucking him. This is ridiculous. His son pays for nothing, has been in college for 10 years. Wow, before deciding on nursing. He refuses to clean up behind himself. He wastes food, water, and hygiene products. He expects his dad and everyone else to pay for his existence with their income, and he refuses to use his own income to support himself in any way. He doesn't know how to cook or even to put air in his tires. Is this behavior inherited from his parents, both relying on others to take care of them, always looking for a handout? This behavior is enabled by parenting, yet he has the nerve to say that I'm too hard on my male child by making sure he follows through on any of his responsibilities or commitments he makes, and I yell periodically. I cursed his tail out, good for you, and told him his son is going to be nothing but a bum and of no use to women because he's shiftless, lazy, full of entitlement issues, and has narc tendencies. The world don't owe him anything because he has nuts swinging between his legs. He got up out of my face with an embarrassed look on his face. Then his son said I had no right to say that about him to his dad. I told him the hell I did. How is a dusty parent going to criticize a non-dusty parent who raised a dusty son? Was I wrong? I don't think so. What are your thoughts on parents who raise ain't-ish adult children? Well, I have several videos on this channel about that, about these ain't shit ass kids and their whack ass enabling, coddling parents that treat them like they still toddlers in diapers and they 30 years old. Several videos on here. I think it's a playlist parenting or something like that. But you did good. You did good because the son, the son, okay, the father, first of all, getting in your face trying to tell you something about how you raised your son, that alone warranted him getting cussed out. Okay? You don't tell me shit, motherfucker, when you got this dusty ass bum living off of you like you fucking him. That's what I would have told him. That's your bitch. You fuck him like he's a woman. You treat him like he's your bitch. And you pay for everything like for him and stuff. What you all got some kind of illicit relationship going? Because that's how you act. Like you just taking care of it, your bitch. That's what it looks like. And your useless ass son, now he come in my face telling me some shit like that. I say, look, you fat, funky motherfucker, don't tell me nothing. You lazy, shiftless piece of shit bum. You don't do shit, you ain't about shit, and you never gonna be shit. Okay, I'm gonna make sure my son runs circles around you. He gonna be 18 and running circles around you, and your ass is twice as old as him. He got more going on for him as a teenager, than you do. As a grown ass man and your daddy put together. Because both of you ain't shit motherfuckers. And as far as the godmother goes, oh yeah. I mean, when I get mad, I can come up with some stuff. But see, this shit right here, this would have pissed me out. I would have been cussing everybody, godmother included. What the fuck you doing with this no good, useless piece of shit ass thing calling it your man? What kind of bullshit is you on? Because, see, that's a bad influence over your son. I don't know how often that your son sees this, quote, godmother, but I would be going to the nearest church and dissolving that bullshit. No, you don't get to be his godmother because your ass is something's wrong with you. And I don't want you around my child because you stupid. You pick bum ass motherfuckers and dusty bums to be your man and have this man in your house to treating his son like that. And then you're going to be trying to influence my boy that I'm trying to raise right with using this as an example of manhood. This ain't no example of manhood. He's a pissy bum. He's a bitch. Pussy fight little punk ass bitch. And you sitting up there talking about that's your son. That's your daughter, motherfucker. That's what that is. You treat him like he's a girl. Got to take care of him and pay all his bills and shit. Oh, honey, why don't I ever run into people like these, like this, so I could act up? Just act up with impunity. But yeah, I would be cussing all of them out: the godmother, the boyfriend, and the behemoth lover boyfriend, and that 28-year-old son. All of them would got cussed out. And then I would start on my son and say, look at here, like, that's why I stay on your little nigga ass. Because you pull any shit like you trying to live like that. You trying to get me to be in a situation like that, nigga, I will stomp you right into these Oakland pavements. San Francisco, where did you say you are? Wherever the hell you are, San Francisco. You will get stomped into the pavement. We're not going to do that. You're not going to live like that. Not in my house. Anytime you think that's where you're supposed to live, you need to get the fuck out. That's what I tell my son. Yeah, he does not need to be around those people. Your son is young and he's still, impressionable, and he's going to see, like, a lot of his friends are probably being raised in a similar manner. Their parents are too lenient, and then here you are, trying to do right by him. You want him to be a solid man. You want him to be somebody that you can be proud of and that he can be proud of when he looks in the mirror as an adult. And that's the kind of thing that you need to explain to him. Say, I know you think I'm being hard on you, but this is because I want you to be somebody that you're proud to be when you're an adult. I do not want you to be like that. That is a useless piece of shit, motherfucker, and we're not having that, not in this house. Not in this house. You cannot be like that and call yourself my son. I want you to be somebody that not only I can be proud of, but everybody in our extended family and everyone in this neighborhood, all your teachers, everyone who knew you. When you grow up, I want them to be happy to say, I had him as a student. He lived around the corner from us. He used to be friends with my son. Look at him. He's a great kid. He's a fabulous young man. That's what I want you to be, son. And that's we're not gonna accept anything less. And so you all this shit you be doing around here, that shit will cease and desist. I will ride your ass like a fucking horse. Okay? And you gonna end up right, and now I'm gonna see to it if it's the last thing I do on this earth. Okay? That's it. No knucklehead sons. I wish more women had your attitude, girl. And if you, there's a video here in case you need some reference points. There's a video here. I think it's under the videos for men playlist. There's a video on the tenets of manhood, TENETS of manhood. And I give 10 principles that a solid man will live by. And I did it for, women who are raising sons by themselves and for young men who are in situations where they're really not getting the proper guidance so they would understand what they need to work on in order to arrive at adulthood to be someone that they are proud of, the man that they're proud of. There are several other videos as well, on manhood and stuff, but that one is one that I'm the most proud of. I did the most work on it. And I think it really is a strong, strong map to solid manhood that if more young men followed, they would end up okay. Yeah, I would love to, but my sons, man, I'm telling you, they would they would be beasts. They would be beasts. But this was kind of interesting, and that last letter really is sad. But you do your best, okay? You do your best with your son, and if you ever need any, tips for how to talk to him, you just hit me up. I will give you some clues. But everybody, thank you. Thank you for the super chat donation, Betty. And everybody, thank you for coming. Remember, this week and next week, we're also having advice column days on Thursday as well. So we have What the Fuck Tuesday. We also have What the Fuck Thursday. While I go through this backlog of like a zillion letters that we have, I want to to clear that up so it's more manageable because now when you go in that folder, it just goes, there's just too many. Now, admittedly, not everyone would get picked anyway because some of them are silly, but there are really a lot of good ones and people are in a lot of, angst, but there's just so many. So if you have a problem, send it. Might not show up real soon, but it will show up. In the link in the show description page below, you'll see a link to the advice submission form. Just click it and send in your advice question to What the Fuck Tuesday for a future show. It might even show up on Thursday. But thanks you guys for coming. I really, really appreciate your support and encouragement and your donations. I love it, love it. And all my regulars and all the newbies, welcome to the channel. Please hit that subscription button on your way out. I'll talk to you real soon.